The Mystery of a Thousand-Year-Old Book. It's just a book of a little over 5,000 words, written more than 2,500 years ago. No noise, no propaganda, and yet it quietly endures through dynasties, revolutions, and the rise and fall of civilizations. And now, in this chaotic modern world, people still pause to listen. That book is the Tao Te Ching. Its author? A man known only as Lao Tzu. No one really knows who he was, but somehow what he wrote touches something deep within every human being. There are no sermons, no calls to fight, to rise, or to conquer. The Tao Te Ching simply whispers about living in harmony with nature, letting go of control, living lightly yet deeply, silently yet with lasting strength. Some call it a work of philosophy. Some see it as a spiritual guide. Some use it as wisdom for leadership, for business, or for inner growth. But for many, the Tao Te Ching is simply a mirror that says nothing. But if you're still enough to look into it, you might just see yourself. In this video, we'll step into that world, the world of Lao Tzu, of the Tao Te Ching, and of a quiet wisdom that has never faded. Who was Lao Tzu? They called him Lao Tzu, the old master. But did he ever truly exist? History remains uncertain. All we know is that he once served as an archivist during the Zhou dynasty, and then, one day, he quietly vanished, like a drifting cloud fading from the sky. What he left behind was a mere 5,000 words, yet those words became one of the deepest treasures of Eastern wisdom. Lao Tzu, whose real name was Li Er, was said to be the keeper of the royal library during the 6th century BCE. He is credited as the founding figure of Taoism, a profound and enduring philosophical tradition of the East. Though little is known about his life, the legacy of his thought has echoed across millennia. One story tells of a meeting between Confucius and Lao Tzu. After their conversation, Confucius said, "I know how birds fly, how fish swim, how beasts run. But I do not know how Lao Tzu moves. He is like a dragon riding the wind, rising to the heavens." It was a statement of awe, not only of respect, but of something beyond understanding, of a presence that was calm, mysterious, and ungraspable. Unlike other sages who built schools, gave speeches, or sought to spread their teachings, Lao Tzu walked a different path, quiet, profound, and anonymous. He founded no religion. He chased no fame. He sought no influence. Over time, he withdrew even further from the noisy world of politics and power, choosing instead to live in harmony with nature. As he left the capital behind, a gatekeeper asked him to leave behind his teachings. And so, he wrote a book of just over 5,000 characters, the Tao Te Ching. Lao Tzu disappeared just like a cloud gently leaving the sky, but his book became one of the greatest philosophical works of all time. And in that silence lies the essence of the Tao, unassuming yet profound, quiet yet powerful enough to stir the whole world. The Tao Te Ching, a book of paradox and peace. The Tao Te Ching is one of the shortest yet most profound works in the entire history of philosophy. Just over 5,000 characters divided into 81 brief chapters. It does not build a rigid system or enforce any ideology. Instead, it gently guides the reader into a world where everything flows according to the natural order, and where true happiness comes only when one learns to live in harmony with it. When people read the Tao Te Ching for the first time, what surprises them is not any strict moral preaching, but a sense of calm so radical it almost feels paradoxical. In a world obsessed with action and ambition, Lao Tzu teaches the art of non-doing. At the heart of the Tao Te Ching is the concept of Tao. Tao means the way, but not a path you walk with your feet. It is the silent principle behind all things, the unseen current of the universe, of nature, of life itself. You cannot name it, capture it, or possess it. And yet, it is everywhere, in the river that flows, in the seed that sprouts, in the breath rising and falling, right where you are. Lao Tzu wrote, "The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The Tao cannot be grasped by intellect. It is not meant to be understood. It is meant to be lived." Lao Tzu often used water as the perfect metaphor for the Tao. Water is soft, quiet, and humble, yet it overcomes the hardest things. It does not fight, but it reaches everywhere. It does not boast, yet it nourishes all. He wrote, "The highest goodness is like water." To live in alignment with the Tao means not to resist the flow of life. It means knowing when to move forward and when to step back, when to be silent and when to act. No forcing, no rushing, no judging, no clinging. This is the spirit Lao Tzu called Wu Wei. But Wu Wei doesn't mean doing nothing. It means not acting against nature. It means to act without ego, to achieve without striving, to win without fighting, to influence deeply without needing to prove a thing. And here lies the most beautiful paradox. Only when you stop trying to control life do you truly begin to live it. Wu Wei, the core spirit of the Tao Te Ching. What strikes most readers when they encounter the Tao Te Ching isn't its complexity, it's its quiet defiance of conventional wisdom. Lao Tzu doesn't teach you how to win with strength or how to fight for glory. Quite the opposite. He says the weak will overcome the strong, the soft will outlast the hard. Those who know how to retreat will go farthest, and those who let go at the right moment will end up holding everything. These are not lessons for the power-hungry. They're directions for those who want to live in harmony with the deeper laws of the universe. At the center of the Tao Te Ching is the idea of Tao, the way, the underlying principle of all life. You cannot see it, name it, or grasp it, yet it flows through everything. It's like water, always seeking the lowest place, never fighting yet achieving everything, never resisting yet flowing through all obstacles. For Lao Tzu, the more we align with the Tao, the more peaceful we become. The less we force, the more complete we feel. The less we grasp, the more we receive. Another essential concept is Wu Wei, which literally means non-action, but not in the sense of doing nothing. It's the art of acting without force. It means doing the right thing at the right time, in the right way, without letting the ego interfere. Lao Tzu wrote, "Wu Wei Wu Bu Wei." Non-doing, yet nothing is left undone. When we stop trying to control everything and instead allow things to unfold naturally, what needs to be done gets done, beautifully, effortlessly. Lao Tzu also emphasized humility and compassion. The wise do not boast. The truly strong have no need to prove it. The Tao Te Ching praises simplicity, silence, and the gentle art of letting go. The noble person does not chase fame or power, but seeks balance and harmony with the universe. These values stand in stark contrast to the modern world, where people are urged to compete, dominate, and prove their worth at all costs. The Tao Te Ching is not just a book of philosophy, it's a spiritual map, a quiet guide for anyone seeking to live more deeply, more gently, and more peacefully in a turbulent world. It's the soft, steady wisdom of the East, one that doesn't try to win, and yet somehow always prevails. The Tao Te Ching and its influence on the modern world. Over 2,000 years have passed, and yet the Tao Te Ching remains not only a cornerstone of Chinese philosophy, but a global spiritual text, one of the most widely translated philosophical works in history. From east to west, from ancient times to today, Lao Tzu's words continue to stop readers in their tracks, offering a kind of simplicity so profound it almost feels otherworldly. In an age where life moves at breakneck speed, where pressure, ambition, and information overload dominate our days, the Tao Te Ching feels like a breath of cool, quiet air. It doesn't offer formulas for success or tactics to defeat others. It simply points the way back to inner clarity, to balance, and to a way of living that flows with, rather than against, the natural world. Ideas like knowing enough is enough, letting go is strength, and the soft will outlast the hard are finding resonance among Western leaders, entrepreneurs, artists, and spiritual seekers alike. In a high-tech world where speed is prized above all, Lao Tzu's wisdom, slow down to see clearly, feels not only radical, but essential. Many founders, CEOs, and creatives now keep the Tao Te Ching on their desks or nightstands, turning to it to stay grounded, clear-headed, and mindful in the midst of chaos. Its influence stretches across the arts, meditation, modern psychology, and education. Lao Tzu's principles are being woven into new models of leadership based on trust and service rather than dominance and control. Concepts like Wu Wei, non-forcing, harmony with nature, compassion, and inner stillness are now being applied by therapists, coaches, and mindfulness teachers to help people cope with stress, anxiety, and the overwhelm of modern life. In a world obsessed with climbing higher, running faster, and shouting louder, the Tao Te Ching reminds us that sometimes taking a step back is the most powerful move forward, that not everything loud is strong, not everything rigid is lasting. True strength, it says, lies in knowing yourself, understanding others, and moving in tune with a force far greater than ego, the way of the Tao. Conclusion: why the Tao Te Ching still lives on. The Tao Te Ching is not an easy book to understand, but neither is it disconnected from real life. It can leave someone reflecting for a lifetime, or change the way they live with just a single sentence. That's the quiet magic of Lao Tzu's philosophy. It doesn't impose, it doesn't preach in the conventional sense. It simply points the way, opens a door, and gently invites us to look inward. In a world that constantly demands more, do more, say more, prove more, the Tao Te Ching whispers the opposite. Do less, say less. Let go of the urge to control, and you'll begin to see more clearly. It doesn't promise success or paradise. It doesn't draw maps to glory. Instead, it shows us a way to live with depth, calm, and quiet strength. A way of being that doesn't require us to defeat others, but instead to overcome the restless ego within ourselves. The Tao Te Ching never ages because human suffering never really changes. No matter the era, we all face anxiety, uncertainty, and confusion. And though Lao Tzu wrote his words more than 2,000 years ago, his voice still speaks directly to the heart of those struggles, with calmness, with clarity, and without dogma. Today, despite the rise of technology and the explosion of information, perhaps because of them, people are burning out faster than ever. In that chaos, the Tao Te Ching isn't some dusty relic from the past. It is, in fact, a quiet compass, helping us return to the stillness and wisdom we already carry deep within. Lao Tzu never asked anyone to believe him. He never tried to persuade. He simply left behind his words, like wind passing through a mountain pass, like water flowing through a deep forest. And thousands of years later, those words still echo, still resonate, still guide, leading those who seek not outward, but inward, toward the Tao.